Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Forum. Forum is going to be a series of discussion videos that I'm hoping the community will continue in the chat. Kind of like a topic thread. So to start us off with the series, it's going to be the history of FPS. In particular, this part's going to be more about the origin of FPS and how we got to Wolfenstein 3D, the grandfather of first-person shooters. So, the year is 1974. Maze War came out. What's neat about Maze War is that it's two players pitted against each other in a maze. It's done in a first-person perspective, and you had to navigate the maze to find the other player, and then you shoot them. And you get points doing so, and whoever had the highest points would win. It had customization like avatars. You could pick models to represent yourself, either like eyeballs, spacecraft, or just a name. What was also neat was that it had what we now consider mini-maps. For that time, it was like a map player positioning thing to help you navigate the map. So you would pull up the map and be like, okay, here you are in correlation to the maze, and you could use that information. What was also neat about Maze War was that it had a spectator mode. What's neat is that spectator mode is very rare even with current games, and this game had it. You could join a room and watch two players duke it out. How cool was that? Alright, so we're going to jump up a little bit further ahead. Atari had released an arcade game called Battlezone. It was known for its fast gameplay, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but I definitely remember it at my local arcade, and I had a lot of fun playing it. It had like a wireframe aesthetic to it, geometric pyramids and blocks, and there's like a erupting volcano in the background, I believe. It's been a while. But yeah, it was really fun. You played in a first-person view of a tank, and you're firing other tanks and UFOs. It was really a fun game. I wanted to mention that because, like I said, arcade games were faster at the time compared to computer games. John Carmack from id Software wanted to bring this to computers. He wanted a fast-paced first-person shooter. However, PCs at the time just weren't fast enough because they can't render a legit full 3D perspective. So how he got around this is pretty interesting. He used a technique called raycasting, and this is fascinating. Alright, so what raycasting does is that, let's take this 2D square grid, okay? And what raycasting did, let's say this player's position right here, it would send out an invisible ray from left to right. So this ray starting from the left would shoot out, and once it hits a wall, it would then calculate the distance from the player to the wall. It would say like, oh, okay, the wall is close to this player. So in this case, I'm going to draw the wall larger. And it would keep doing this until it does the full perspective of the player. So it would keep going down, like, okay, higher, shorter. Oh, the distance from the player is starting to get longer. So I'm going to make the wall smaller. What this did was that it helped create a false 3D perspective in the game. But the game itself was 2D. How neat was that? That was pretty cool, right? That was implemented in Hover Tank in 1991. The next game that came out was Catacomb 3D. In Catacomb 3D, what was neat about that, it implemented texture mapping. So let's go back to Hover Tank 3D. You notice that the environment's very bland looking. Solid colored textured walls, right? Catacomb 3D, however, has like bricks and painted on wall. It added flavor to the environment. So John Carmack went to CES, and he saw that Ultima Underworld had used this technique of texture mapping, and he thought to himself that he could do this but faster. So he implemented it into Catacomb 3D. And what Catacomb 3D also added was that it used a character's head as a representation of the hero's health, which was pretty neat. Those two combinations brought us to Wolfenstein 3D, the grandfather of first-person shooters. John Carmack wanted to make a sci-fi shooter. I believe it's Green and Pissed. However, John Romero suggested that they make a remake of Castle Wolfenstein. Castle Wolfenstein was released, I believe, in 1981 as a stealth shooter. Now they have John Carmack's engine, which he refined and added doors and hidden walls to. It's a refined version of his engine. They added boss fight of fighting Mecha Hitler and hidden Easter eggs, and a maze-like level designs echoing Castle Wolfenstein. All this combination created a really successful game, Wolfenstein 3D, that came out in 1992, and developers at the time were trying to replicate its success through other FPS games, and sparked a whole another era of FPS games, and I would go more further into that in the next segment. But yeah, I wanted to get us caught up with Wolfenstein 3D, and it's really neat how we got there. So yeah, that's my first segment. Leave a comment, tell me what you guys thought of it. I'm still working out the kinks, so bear with me. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun researching this, and I'm still having fun continuing to research more for the further episodes. So, alright, that's gonna be it for Forum. Till next time.